Oh, that's the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Dan and Stone, your movie podcast that today is reviewing Jurassic World Rebirth. And I did not think that we were going to get this movie this soon. When it came to Dominion, the only good part about it, I thought, was maybe that it was going to end for a while. Had an epic conclusion with like 17 characters in it. It was like, awesome. Going to have a 14-year break again. Nope. Made $1 billion, and now we are back with the dinos. And me and Dan are not alone talking about them today, no. We have Gigi, Room for Screen, on for the second time. And it's been a while since you've been on with us. I recorded my first ever episode in this room with you about Nicolas Cage. And look how far it's come. Look how far we've come. I was going to say,
you had like just moved. You had just moved.
And I put in the work, and I can't fill any more shelves. All my shelves are filled. So we're done.
You just need more shelves.
I have thought about that. I've got the hats going on behind me right now. But I wanted to ask you on, and we're going to get into Rebirth here in a second, but I mean, maybe we should save it for our full discussion of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. But How excited were you, because I know you're a super fan of this franchise, or just the original film. How excited were you to just get another movie after Dominion? Or were you like, I don't care, dinos are here? How are you feeling?
Okay, so I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. Like, I love all of the movies, 1, 2, and 3. Those are my whole personality. I love them so much. Now, when the first Jurassic World came out, I was stoked. And it's like a big movie in my family. So we all went out to go and watch it together. And I actually loved the Jurassic World movie. So I know we're going to get into that one. But then the next one came out, and that was like fine. And then Dominion came out, and I truly, with all of my heart and soul, hated that movie. It's so bad. I actually never even really finished it, because like I was already like an hour and 45 minutes in, and I was like, I don't like this. I'm not feeling, I hate this already. And I was like, I just can't. I like fast forward to kind of see like what happened at the end, but I didn't even like truly finish it. I still logged it on Letterboxd. I feel like an hour and 45 minutes of a movie, you pretty much watched it, and like nothing even happens in Dominion. So I didn't even feel bad about that. So I like wasn't really that excited that like a new Jurassic World was coming out. However, when I heard that David Koepp was going to be the writer, who's the original writer, or, just he adapted the screenplay for Jurassic Park, then I was excited. I was like, okay, I love the way that he adapted Jurassic Park, and I had read the book. And so I was like, okay, maybe he's going to bring back a little bit. I don't know if either of you have ever read Jurassic Park, the book. Have you guys read it?
I have not.
Okay, it's a lot more intense than the movie is. Obviously, they made it for like kids, or somewhat kids, and so it's a lot more like intense and like scary. And so I was like, okay, maybe this one will be like going back to its roots, because still the original Jurassic Park is like kind of scary. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of stoked. And then when I heard that there was going to be a scene that was supposed to be in the original Jurassic Park that they just couldn't fit it in, then I was like, okay, I am stoked for this movie. But then when early reviews came out, and then everyone was like, it's fine, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not as excited for this movie. But originally, I was like kind of excited.
Have you read any of the other novels, Gigi, or just the first one?
I have gotten halfway through The Lost World. It's a lot more like science-y and technical. It's way more technical of a book, so it's kind of harder to digest. And it's like nothing like the second movie. So like Jurassic Park is like kind of the same as like, the movie, but The Lost World is like nothing like the movie. So I'm like, it's almost like you're like visualizing something totally different. But yeah, it's a lot more technical. So I'm like halfway through it, but I still like it.
So some of the stuff they brought into this movie in terms of like the genetically modified stuff that wasn't able to be in Jurassic Park, that's from Lost World, the book, correct?
I think so.
Okay.
Because it's been I'm like halfway through it, and I was like stopped reading it a while ago. But like, yeah, the second book is a lot more about like genetic testing and stuff like that. That's why it's kind of harder to digest, because the language is just so heavy. So you're like, okay, this is a lot to process.
Yeah.
So the most recent book that I read or am reading was Project Hail Mary, which is the Ryan Gosling movie coming out next year. Do
Mhm.
not read that book if you don't like science talk. There's a lot of science in that.
It's like so much like the first Jurassic Park is so like it's so much easier to digest, like because they still talk about like genetic testing and all this and like playing God, obviously, but like in the Lost World, I was like, oh, this is like a total shift from like the tone of the first book.
Yeah, and the genetic testing, it's kind of frustrating because I want to give a brief synopsis about what the movie is about, but you basically just see it in the trailers, which I guess that's the point of the trailer, but there's now a new island, which I don't believe this was part of the novels, called Isle Saint. Oh man, I made a video about it today. Isle Saint. I just erased it all too. That's all right. A new island where the genetic testing went on.
Yes.
This is like a site C now. We have 3 islands all together.
Yes. That kind of annoyed me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of retconning, but then this pharmaceutical company wants to create a drug and sell it, and in order to do that, they need the blood from 3 big dinos. So they invite Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey to the island to get it done. And there might be some monster that shows up in the beginning. A D-Rex might come back at the end. That's about the movie. You thought until 30 minutes in, what's this family doing here?
Yeah.
Who are these guys? Where's this going to go? And then we have ourselves a movie. I know what me and Dan, we have similar feelings about this movie. Gigi, how did you like it? I hope you liked it, but I'm curious.
I actually did enjoy it. So I overall gave it like a 3 out of 5. My gripes with the movie is that it's way too long. I thought it was way too long. You really feel the runtime, but the first like 30 to 45 minutes, I'm like, they're just like setting up this like exposition that just everything felt very on the nose. Like everything is on the nose. And then like Jonathan Bailey's like, okay, so like we should like give it to everyone, right? And I'm like, okay, guys, we could have wrote this a little bit more like discreet. Or like, we're not dumb. Like, we know what you're getting at. This is what the whole franchise is built off of, is like corporate greed, ethics, morality, like, like scientific implications and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, that was a little silly to me. But once we finally get onto the island, I was like, okay, this is pretty kick-ass. Like, I was like, this is kind of fun, because really, the movie really reminds me, Rebirth really reminds me of Jurassic Park 3, which is hated amongst Jurassic Park fans. I love Jurassic Park 3. It's stupid, it's silly, it's fun. It's like a lot of chaos on the island, because it's like, I don't know if you guys remember Jurassic Park 3, but that's when they're on Site B. So it's like everything, it's very much like the dinosaurs in their natural habitat, which is just like Rebirth. It's like that was the whole like, oh, they're in their natural habitat. So I liked that about Jurassic Park 3. It was like they were just kind of like trying to survive in this like, natural setting. So I felt heavy Jurassic Park 3 vibes with Jurassic World Rebirth. So I liked that because we got a ton of just a ton of like dinosaurs like in your face, and like, scary scenes, or just kind of like these like tense moments just all in your face. Because in the first movie, it takes a while until we see a dinosaur, and then it like, I was watching it with my 3-year-old niece, and she was sitting there like, when the fuck are we going to see a dinosaur? And so like, then I was like kind of realizing, I was like, yeah, we actually don't see a lot of like, tense like dinosaur moments in the first one until like halfway through the movie. And then the Lost World, it's only, the T-Rex. So it's like not as, and like, the raptors. So it's not as like, there's not as much of a variety there. Whereas like in Jurassic Park 3, we're getting all these different kinds, all these different like, mutated or just bigger, badder type of dinosaurs. And that's how Rebirth felt. And I actually really liked that, because it was just kind of like chaotic and fun. But yeah, I kind of liked it. I thought it was just pretty good.
I want to point out something that you said in all that I find interesting. Obviously, the first movie is your favorite out of this franchise, and it has the least amount of dinosaurs.
Yes.
Now, I would think that possibly it has something to do with the story behind. You don't need the dinosaurs are a big part of it, but it's also the characters and everything like that.
Yes.
And that's something that I think that's lacking for me. I made the mistake, not the mistake, but I rewatched I'm like, I got like an hour left of Dominion right now.
Oh
And
God.
I didn't realize the actress in Severance. I don't know if you watched Severance, Gigi, but Severance, Dan,
No.
the one who plays Mark's wife, is like the villain, like a villain in Jurassic World Dominion. I was like, what are you doing here? But anyways, it's Jurassic Park, Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3, and now this movie feel very repetitive to me
Mm-hmm.
when I guess I watched them in a row because it's people on an island going from one destination to another. And you run into monsters along the way. And for me, that doesn't really, it's not a really interesting story.
Oh
But
yeah.
the same thing that happens, I can compare it to so many other movies. The only Jurassic Park movies I think do a good job of characterization, which I think is the big flaw of this movie, is I think Jurassic Park does a good job of it. There's a little bit in Jurassic Park 3 with the two parents just trying to find their child. And then I think Jurassic World does a good job as well.
Yes.
They do, like you said, they set up a huge amount of exposition between Mahershala Ali's character and also Scarlett Johansson. They have like this history of doing these adventures together, schemes, whatever they do, like bounty hunter mercenaries. Something. Anyway, yeah. But then there's not. I don't understand it from a screenwriting perspective. This is David Koepp, and I think Dan, you came out with a video not too long ago where you're like, "Yeah, David Koepp's made some good movies back in the day, but recently hasn't been the best." I don't understand introducing aspects about your character at the beginning of the movie and it not factoring into any of the rest of the movie. And that is the beautiful thing about Jurassic Park. It's the fact that Alan Grant does not like children.
Yeah.
Boom. That's all you need. Does not
Yes.
like kids. He's rude to this one kid, like scares the living hell out of him. And then at the end, he's got two kids lying on his shoulders and he's
Yes.
happy about it. Just simple like that. And they don't even attempt to do that here. Like you said, it's just like, should we give it to the world? Let's give it to the world. Like,
Yes.
how does that factor into any of your history?
Oh,
or anything?
absolutely. No, 1,000%. I know that that's like everybody's like biggest complaint is that there's no like character development, which is so true because in Jurassic Park, that's like what you said. There's like the least amount of dinosaurs in there. It's all just like developing these characters and watching them like just kind of, navigate this craziness, this chaos. So, oh my God, sorry. Babe. Sorry. He
No
came in
worries.
and scared the dogs. Can you take them down? Scared the shit out of me. Okay.
Okay, we're a dog friendly podcast. You're
Oh,
right.
thank God. Okay. So, anyways, let me go back to my thought. Okay, so yes, like in Jurassic Park, there's so much like character development, and that's mostly what it is. There's barely any dinosaurs. We're seeing these characters like navigate this like crazy, chaotic situation that they're in. And in 2, there's not a lot of character development is needed because we're mostly just focusing on, what's his name? Oh my God.
Malcolm?
Ian. Yes, Ian. I was going to call him Ian Grant. And I was like, that's not his name. We're focusing on Ian's character. So it's like, okay, we already have this, like, we already know who he is. Everyone else is just kind of like a side character. But then in 3, like you said, there's a little bit of development with like the parents and stuff like that. And Jurassic World I feel like did a great job with all the character development. But yeah, in this one, it was like there was no actual depth or substance to these characters. And then everything that I feel like they tried to develop them, but then everything just felt very shoehorned in there. Like the one scene with Scarlett Johansson, like we know that Mahershala, oh my God, guys, I'm having a stroke. We know that his character.
Okay, it'll be good for views. So
There you go.
I was just kidding. Sorry.
So we know that his character like lost his son. And then when he's upset about what happens with this family, and then like ScarJo's character is like, that's not why you're mad. And I was like, that felt awkward and weird. And then they never really went back to him losing his son or kind of just like made us feel anything about that, any type of way about it. And so I do understand that some of this character development just felt very shoehorned in there and not actual develop. It was just very surface level.
Yeah, I don't really think there's any development at all. And like, I haven't heard a lot of people saying this, but like I think Scarlett Johansson's like kind of actively bad in this movie.
I think she's very bad in this movie. The only
Okay.
I think Mahershala Ali is bad as well, and Scarlett Johansson is bad as well because they're not given much. I think Jonathan Bailey is such a character, just like his personality, that he shines the most out of the three of them.
Okay, I thought the same thing, and I didn't like say that in my review. Like, I don't think that she was like bad enough to like it distract. I don't think anybody was like bad to where it was like distracting, but I did not think. I don't think, like you said, there was enough substance to their character to actually get into a character and exude a character. So they're just so
That's a bad character, which means
yes,
which that's what you get from Scarlett Johansson.
they're just so empty. So you're like, their performance didn't feel like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was there because there was no character to really give.
The other thing is like there's nothing to differentiate Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. Like they're the same character and they're just kind of like one's a man, one's a woman. There's nothing differentiating them. You can't tell what their dynamic even is. He's supposed to be the lead of the team, but then she's kind of leading the team and they just feel interchangeable as just vague mercenary individual. And like, you know, they pretty much watch everyone that they know die. Scarlett Johansson doesn't react really to any of it. She's kind of like, oh, like, is that your friend? Like, did your friend just get mauled by a dinosaur? Like, can we show some kind of emotion, like anything? And like, I think Mahershala Ali is probably the best actor in the movie. He doesn't get anything to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like the two of them as leads were just kind of hung out to dry, and then maybe they were just like, I'm gonna get a big ass paycheck from this movie, so I'm here. Like, I'll stand here and go through the lines, but like, you know, Jonathan Bailey at least gets a little bit of life and energy in his character and in the performance, like he's trying. But they're all just such cliches, and like nothing about how they interact is interesting. I don't even like. Do either of you know what Scarlett Johansson's character was named?
I'm looking at it right now.
Zora. Only
Zora
because
Bennett.
the only reason why I remember that is because like the second or third time they said it, I was like, are they calling her Zora? What a dumb name. And then I was like, oh no, it's Zora. But that's the only reason why I remember, because I also don't remember Mahershala. Oh my God, why can't I say his name? Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali. I can't remember what his character's name was, or Jonathan Bailey's, honestly.
And it's just like, what, like with Mahershala and Scarlett, what are their character traits? Like, how would you who is their character supposed to be? Like, how would you even define those characters? Like, I feel like ScarJo is trying to do like 4 different things, and same like Mahershala is just kind of just almost an NPC in this. I don't know how to even describe. These characters. It's
Can I tell you? I think a genius idea that they could have done in this movie, that I don't think it would have worked for the plot, but it would have worked to make these characters more interesting. Split up the groups. Let like 2 of the adults go with like half of that family and take the other half of the family and put them with the adults. And they all have problems in their lives. They're not perfect people. One thing I thought about is that the fact that the boyfriend is an asshole, right? He's not a good guy at the beginning, really, even though he has some weird, like he saves his girlfriend, sure, whatever, but he's not respectful to this her father. So I thought it'd be a brilliant idea to maybe pair him with Mahershala Ali's character, who has lost a son, right? And can find some way to build a connection with this guy and maybe just give some influence to a child that he never got to do in the first place. I thought that would have been a really smart idea. But the family, it's so funny that we're talking about characters this, characters that. None of us are thinking about the family, which is half of this movie. All of that is pointless. All of it is, they do not matter. The only reason why they're in this movie is so they could have a kid in this film. That is the only reason why they're in this movie, because you have to have a child in a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, I thought it was I hated that boyfriend character. There were times where I liked him because it was like, oh, some of what he said was funny. But for the most part, I was like, I hate that they're trying to write a comical character. Like they are trying to so forcefully put this like comical character in here. And then, like you said, like some of the conversations, like when like they were trying to have these like real meaningful, again, what was like, I think they thought was some type of character development, like when the son is talking to, or when the boyfriend is talking to the dad. I was like, what is this conversation? Like, nobody cares. I don't.
There's no
care.
resolution of that either.
Yes.
It just
Yeah,
they
I
just
was like,
stop
nobody cares.
talking,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
he walks away. Like,
Yeah.
None of he's the only one in that group, which is so strange that they're trying to do some character development with. They don't care about anybody else.
Yes.
The girlfriend doesn't change. The little girl, she's like quiet because she's like scared, and then just starts talking when she gets like the Baby Yoda dinosaur. And then the dad doesn't do anything. It's just like, what are we doing here?
That was another thing that I thought was
This-
weird. Like when the little girl gets scared, which also don't remember her name, but like when she got scared and then they kept asking, like, is she okay? I was like, why do they keep asking that? And then when she talks, when she gets the dinosaur, and they're like, oh, she finally talks. Like she's better. And I was like,
I didn't realize she wasn't talking.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't fucking realize she wasn't talking because you had one scene where she wasn't talking. Like I was like, what? Like that? I was like, okay, whatever.
A lot of people have pointed out that the father, like, he really hurts his leg and is like limping severely, and then he just stops.
Oh yeah.
He stops limping towards the end of the movie. I'm like, the healing power of the
He's like a
island.
bad dad. Like I was like, when his daughter is like getting almost eaten, and then he's like doing nothing, and then when they're on the dock and he's like telling the sister, like he's like, go get your sister. I was like, why don't you go get your daughter? Like, what are you even doing right now?
And why were they even out on the water in the first place when they knew there was fucking huge dinosaurs there?
Okay, I thought the same.
You were in a wooden sailboat.
Yes,
bro.
because
Like,
also, like, wasn't that supposed to be like a no travel
restricted area.
zone? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one thing that I didn't understand. Where I was like, was the island a restricted area, or is the ocean? Or like, I don't know if they can't restrict the ocean. If that was like their little loophole.
no, you weren't supposed to be in the water they were in. He was just like, what are the chances there's a dinosaur that eats my whole family? Like, whatever. Like,
Yeah, I thought that was like, I was like, wait, so what the hell are you guys doing here? Because at first I was like, wait, they shouldn't be there because it's a no travel zone. But then I was like, well, I was like, maybe maybe the island is just a no travel zone. But then once, big corporate greed guy was like, no, don't call Mayday. I was like, no, so they're not supposed to be there. Like, you clearly don't want help. Like, I mean, nobody would know what you were doing if you were just in the middle of the ocean. Like, nothing has gone awry. So I don't know. That was weird to me.
yeah, it was strange. And like when they first introduced them there, I honestly thought they were all going to get fucked up and die. Like I was like, oh, this scene's going to be crazy. And like I felt like, honestly, I think this movie it's at its strongest with everything on the water. I think that sequence with the family was solid and like tense because I assumed someone was going to die.
Yeah.
Like I assumed there would be some type of like emotional payoff to that sequence. And then I also like the sequence on the water with like the Spinosaurs and when they were trying to tag the whatever the fuck.
The Mazes,
Mosasaur,
whatever.
yeah.
The Mozzie.
I thought it was funny because Scarlett Johansson's like, Jonathan Bailey, you can't do it. I'm the expert here. Watch this. And then he like misses.
Yeah, I was like, what? Thank you. I literally thought about that. I was like, what? Like, who is this character? Like, how is she being written?
I thought they like when you were saying stuff like that, like show her like being like really skilled, like show her be the badass that she thinks she is, and then she's humbled on this island and does not think that she can do these things. Like she is not invincible. Just do something like that. Just try. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I agree. But I thought that sequence on the water with the speedboats was cool. They shot that like on the Mediterranean, which I think that sequence was really hard for them to shoot, and I thought it was impressive.
They like actually shot it in the ocean?
Yeah, so it was a combination. So part of it they did on the Mediterranean, the other part they did in like these huge tanks they built. But it was all like they were using like gimbals and all this shit to like actually put it together. I thought that part was entertaining and like there was some actual tension there. But
yeah,
the more this movie goes and you start to realize this movie has no balls. There's no like this movie is toothless. Like it's bloodless. It's just like these people are all going to be fine. They all have plot armor. Like I started checking out the longer it went, and like you said, Gigi, I think like this thing is too long, and it almost feels like it was two separate screenplays or like two different movies that just got fucking smashed together. And one of them was about this family, one of them was about these hardened mercenaries, and then you just get nothing because they don't mix well. And you can't really get close to anyone because you're spending like 20 minutes here and then a half hour here and then 20 minutes here. Like it just breaks the like storytelling, and it doesn't. I didn't think it worked. for that reason.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys what I think is like an awful decision is the fact that they tell you at the very beginning what is going to happen in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're going to go to this island and we're going to get blood samples from 3 different dinosaurs. And
Like
then
a
they
video
escape.
game. It's a video
I'm
game.
like, make something happen. Like, I guess there's like, you don't have to cure the world's cancer at the very end. It's a movie. That's not real.
Heart disease, Stone. Heart disease.
Heart disease.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do that. It doesn't really factor into the characters, even though you think it does at the very end. To do something else.
I thought that was weird too, because when I was like trying to, like, when I recorded my review on it, I was like trying to give, like, you know, it's like you try to give the plot without giving like, oh, I'm giving the whole movie away. But I was like, no, but the plot, like, it's this top secret group that goes to get DNA from 3 of the biggest dinosaurs. And I'm like, that is the entire movie. There's no real, like, there's no surprise there. Like, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be dinosaurs that come and attack them. But that's it. That's the whole movie.
Also, they're pulling this DNA from genetically mutated dinosaurs, and they're going to use that to treat human beings. Like, is that not dangerous, or like what?
It's. I mean, do you know anything about heart disease cures? Maybe it is.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know anything either.
You got me there.
Well, what I don't like is that I like in Jurassic Park 3, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World. Oh my gosh, all those titles are so similar.
Yeah.
I like that there's one villain dinosaur, one formidable foe that is constantly in the background of your mind, that you know these characters are thinking about and trying to get away from. This does not have that. You see it at the very beginning. Dude, you see it at the very beginning. That's the thing too. Like Gigi, like we were talking, like you just said, I don't want to give the plot away, but the whole plot is the movie.
Yeah.
Even the ending, you know what's going to happen because they show you at the very beginning. So you know everything that's going to happen in this movie besides a random fucking family popping up 30 minutes into it. Just like,
yes.
Who are these guys?
I totally agree. Also, I was actually so sad that there was like not raptors in this movie. Like, I know we get like one 5-second scene where I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's a raptor or some form of a raptor. But I was pissed because in all the movies, that is like the big bad. Like, yes, like the T-Rex, but like the raptors are the ones that are like the most cunning. And like, especially in, I mean, you see it in Jurassic Park, but also in the book, that is the big bad in the book. They're like, oh my God, like, yeah, the T-Rex is scary, but raptors are like, you don't fuck with those. And it happens in all the movies. In Lost World, I mean, same thing in 3, and in Jurassic World, that was like the whole selling point was him, you know, being this like raptor tamer thing. So I was like, wait, why do they completely just like, what, like, why wouldn't they give fans, even if you're doing like a fan service thing? Like, I'm like, that is a big running theme in the franchise. Why wouldn't you give us some raptors? So I didn't like that they didn't have that. And yeah, they didn't have like a big, you know, a big bad in there, which was kind of sucked. But that's why I kind of think it's more like 3, because in 3, like, yes, there is like one character that like keeps coming.
Dude,
for
the Spinosaurus like, I'm gonna fuck you all up.
Yes.
I love that.
Like coming for them, but there are like multiple ones that are scary to them. Like when they're in like, you know, the bird cage and, you know, all this stuff. So it's like, okay, there are multiple ones that are like really scary and evil, but yeah, that is kind of weird that they changed that up.
Well, Jurassic World Rebirth doesn't have any raptors. It does have a rapper that the entire movie is hinged upon, which is a fucking Snickers wrapper, which gets sucked into a vent, which turns off the security system for an entire high-tech facility that houses genetically modified dinosaurs. One Snickers wrapper shuts it all down, and everyone dies because reasons.
That's from the book, I believe.
I don't care what moron
from Jurassic Park.
Shit.
I think so. I think I saw something.
It's fucking stupid. It was so dumb. And like the product placement of it all to start the movie, I was like, I don't know.
I've gotten so used to product placement in the Jurassic World series because it's like so much. Like, it's any of these big blockbuster movies, I just kind of like, I'm so desensitized to it because it's in so many of them where I was like, well, at least they tried to do something with this one. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Strangers Chapter 1, but that was
Yeah, dude.
probably the worst example of product placement because like they're literally just driving in the car and she's like, oh, my ally deposited hit. And then I was like, okay, so that plays nothing into what's happening right now. But I was like, at least they're trying to do something with this product right here.
Such a bad movie.
Oh, no, yeah.
Such a bad
I
movie.
said I'm trying to find the Snickers bar wrapper.
Yeah, I'm so curious because I don't remember like a Snickers wrapper.
It was the stupidest shit.
It was the
No,
very
it
beginning of the
was
movie.
dumb.
The guy was just eating a Snickers, and that's how like
No, Gigi's saying she didn't remember it from the book, I think.
Oh,
No, I don't
my
remember
bad.
No,
My bad.
yeah. From the book, I don't remember like a Snickers wrapper. So like, or like any type of candy wrapper, like fucking up the system. So
Just turning everything off.
yeah, it was a little smarter than that. Michael Crichton is a little smarter than that.
One thing I wanted to say, I'm frustrated. Oh, about the Snickers thing. You guys need to go check out my newest video because I thought of something really smart. I was talking about, I always try to like put the videos behind me to what I'm talking about. And I was talking a lot about the beginning of the movie. And I was like, I'm running out of videos. I got from the trailers. So I put clips of the you should eat a Snickers commercial with like Betty White in it as like a fun little gag to the beginning of this movie. Thought it was pretty funny. No
That's a
one
good one.
acknowledged it, but I'm frustrated because Gigi, I texted Dan this. I read this whole article. One of my favorite thing about Jurassic Park movies is the animatronics that they use in the films. And I read this whole article that did an interview with Gareth Edwards and talking about they don't have any in this movie. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's huge. They don't have a single animatronic. And it was Edwards, and he was giving all of his reasons, yada yada yada. And I was like, cool. I was like 80% of the way through recording my video, editing it, which takes me like 3 or 4 hours. And then randomly, TikTok heard what I was talking about, and there's an interview of someone talking about the little dinosaur at times in the backpack was an animatronic. And I was like, fuck. I was so mad. I texted Dan. Oh, I was so frustrated.
That, honestly, it never once looked like an animatronic to me, which is so frustrating because that is like one thing that I wish that they could go back to roots and have like animatronic, even if not all of them, like, in Jurassic Park, not all of them were animatronics. They tried, but it's like, that's what makes it so timeless and realistic. And like, I do think that they looked really good in this movie though. Like I like there was some and like Jurassic World or whatever where I was like, I'm not a big fan of whatever the hell they're doing with this. But in this one, I actually liked them. But I just wish that I'm like, guys, this is such like you are making billions of dollars off of this franchise. Like I feel like you can afford some animatronics.
There's a reason. It was because this movie they were supposed to have like Gareth Edwards after he made The Creator basically wanted to like not retire but take a break from directing. They came to him about this and he was like, okay, this is the only thing I would say yes to. He loves the franchise, and basically he said, I would have needed 2.5 years to make this movie. He got 1.5 years. So the pre-production of this was like super rushed, which is literally the reason that they didn't have any of the animatronics, which like I know it's like a small thing, Stone, but like that's super valid because this is all CGI essentially. Like it's a little tiny usage there. And to me, like the dinosaurs here just I missed the animatronics. It felt to me kind of like they felt kind of fake. I think occasionally they looked a little bit goofy. And I think like the D-Rex thing at the end, they said they kind of matched together like the like a xenomorph with the Rancor from Star Wars and a T-Rex. And it's just like it's not a dinosaur. Like I see a Rancor like, and that to me is the whole thing about like the genetic mutation and stuff in this. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm looking at dinosaurs. I feel like I'm watching some random science fiction movie. And it's just like that is part of the magic of this franchise. Is like, and I grew up like loving dinosaurs, like, and that's why I loved the early movies, especially the first three, like only the first three, because I liked seeing all of them and seeing what would pop up and like what we hadn't seen before that they would like bring in, because there's so many different species you can bring in and show to people, and it's exciting. But like just being like, oh, this is a velociraptor mixed with a pterodactyl, and we're going to do the same scene from Jurassic Park with in the kitchen. It's like, I don't care. That's not a real thing. it's just something you made up. I don't know. It just didn't quite hit the same for me.
Yeah. No, that's so fair.
Did you see my video on that, Gigi? What he's talking about? I just like had an epiphany where I was like, Bryce Dallas Howard's character in Jurassic World says something where she's like, we have to invent new dinosaurs for the park because people are getting bored of regular dinosaurs. And that is exactly what they're doing in the franchise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
the exact same thing.
It makes no sense that it would happen in the movie, and I don't think it happened in real life either. Like, I think people in that world would still be interested in fucking dinosaurs, even if it was
zoos.
10 years after.
Zoos are still thriving.
That was like one thing that was like kind of interesting where I was like, I get it. They're like writing it for a plot, but I was like, that's like being like, yeah, so we have to invent like a new tiger because people are getting real fucking tired of like seeing tigers. I'm like, zoos have been around forever and they're not like genetically trying to alter these like lions and tigers and bears and shit like that. So like that was one where I was like, that's interesting. But I was like, whatever, we'll just push it forward with the plot.
It felt very meta, right? I felt like it was like, do you still care about the Jurassic Park franchise? Like that's what I felt like it was.
That's fair.
And it felt kind of like insecure to me in that way. Which
And I went all the way back to Jurassic Park 3 though, because I think maybe they were thinking about the fact that maybe people were getting tired of like a T-Rex being, you know, the big bad that keeps on chasing them down. So they're like, hey, let's throw a dinosaur that is bigger and badder and literally. That's one thing about Jurassic Park 3 that I find really funny. There's 2 breaking of the necks in it. The Spinosaurus breaks the T-Rex's neck, and then also one of the Velociraptors just like.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah,
I'm like, did dinosaurs do that?
Yeah, they've learned.
You can't say they can't do that. We don't know. But yeah, so where do you take it from here? You have to go back to this island when there's genetically mutated. They're going to make another one and a huge opening weekend.
They have to stop. They need to stop.
They're not going to stop.
They need to
stop. It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse, and it's like you can't like you can't do anything else without like completely. I don't like even when they brought up like this new like Site C. I was like, what are they even doing with this? So it's like they're just. I don't know. I feel like you're just going down the rabbit hole of like doing like you're regurgitating the same thing. You're going to create like a completely new narrative that isn't a part of like the franchise or like the feeling of the franchise. Like they just got to stop.
You've conditioned your fans to like the people who went out and saw this. They are expecting this to be what Jurassic Park is now. Like it's monster movies. It's not dinosaur movies.
Yeah.
So even if they wanted to go back to that, I feel like the people who really enjoy these movies be like, what are we doing? Like show me. Like you said, I want like a pterodactyl mixed with like the big water one. Like have the big one in the water come out flying. Like that's cool shit. That's what we're gonna get in the next one.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Yeah, I think they can only go so far with that because it was like the reason why I gave it like a 3 out of 5. It was because once we were on the island and we got to see all these like fun, crazy dinosaurs, I was like, oh, okay, at least we got to see all these like fun, crazy dinosaurs and we got some tense situations. But then it was like. That's all I wanted from this movie. But like, so it's like, if they did a next movie, I'm like, no, I don't, I'm done with that. I have my other, 3-4 movies that do that perfectly fine. And you don't need to do that anymore.
The kind of movie I would like to see from Jurassic Park, I would like to see a final movie. It's like however many years in the future, dinosaurs are the prominent species on Earth. Every single human being has died except for one person. And that person just is existing in the wild, trying to survive, fights a bunch of different dinosaurs, slowly gets beaten down, and then they fucking die at the end of the movie. And the franchise ends, and dinosaurs have taken back the Earth. That would be a sick ending. Give me that kind of movie. Like, I don't need just group of people run from dinosaurs and they're all fine. Like, I don't need that anymore. Give me something else. Give me like a super dark, rated R horror movie, which is what they said this was. I feel like this was bullshit marketing.
Yes.
Like bullshit. Like we're going back to horror. It's PG-13. There's no blood. Nobody dies. Like, where's the horror? Like,
yeah, that was one thing where I was expecting it to be like a little scarier. Like, I think that there was like moments of tension, but I wanted like scary moments, like when we're in like, in Jurassic Park when he's like eating the dude off of the toilet. I was like, oh, this is like a scary scene. Or it's like their big old like roars. It's like, that's terrifying. But I feel like we didn't really get a lot of that. I also, going back to what you said earlier, Dan, I didn't like that nobody died, or like nobody that we cared about died.
Yes.
Not one
Everything was
person.
telegraphed. You're not gonna
Yes.
be. You're not gonna be horrified. It's like you're a horror creator. It's not. It's like a horror movie. If you know when the jump scares are coming, then they're not going to terrify you.
Yeah.
You know, even kind of when you know who's going to die, and you know when they're kind of going to die too, and you're just
Yeah.
waiting for that, so you don't get scared at all. There's
Yeah.
nothing unexpected in this movie. I did read somewhere. I don't know if you saw this, Dad. So originally in the script, Mahershala Ali's character, spoilers, I mean, we spoiled a lot of it, was supposed to die.
He should
And
have.
Mahershala Ali, when he was brought onto the project, said, I want my character to die.
Yes.
And Gareth Edwards, I think maybe Gareth Edwards changed it and then changed it so he didn't die. And then Mahershala got brought on. He's like, no, I want to die. It's like, okay, cool. Boom, he's dying. Test audiences. Test audiences like, no, not I don't like it. And then they changed it, which is
But it
big
makes
old
no
bummer.
sense. How did he live? He's just getting fucked up by the D-Rex. He's absolutely toast. Then it's just like, oh, he somehow escaped. Like fucking Palpatine somehow has returned. Like
Movie magic, baby.
Like,
yeah. It's interesting. My only like counter argument to that is that in the original Jurassic Park book, Ian Malcolm dies and they keep him alive. And so it's like I was like, whatever. They can keep his, Mahershala's character alive, because I was like, well, they kind of did that with Ian as well.
Only if he's like on the boat with his shirt open, like posing at us. Like that's the only way that you could survive in these movies.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I will say my favorite part of this movie, Dan, you mentioned the water sequence. It's such a weird and subtle moment that I really liked. It was with I think they're called Titanosaurs, with the super long tails. Which,
yeah.
I had to look up that those Titanosaurs existed, but the tails are the mutation. Like they don't look like that. They did exist, but they don't look like that. But there was like this interesting intimate moment between two of them, and they're just like sitting there like watching it, and I'm like, that's something different. Like those are animals interacting with each other, like not acting like monsters. And that one scene right there, it wasn't mutations. It was just showing a different side of the dinosaurs that I had never seen before. It's the same thing with the T-Rex kind of on its back, just chilling, like napping.
Yeah.
Like show stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make these things act like animals. You don't always have to have them act like monsters. They're not always trying to eat people.
Yeah.
Like bears aren't always trying to eat everyone they come into contact with.
No, I
treat them like
totally agree.
animals.
I love the little T-Rex scene where he was like sleeping, because that's like straight from the book. He's like sleeping and they don't know he's nearby and they're like creeping around him. So I love that they actually showed him sleeping, because it's like kind of silly to see on screen. But I was like, oh, it's cute.
Yeah, the only thing, the scene with the Titanosaurus, like, I felt like it was just a straight up ripoff of the like Brachiosaurus scene from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, but at the same time, there was a couple like. Nothing made sense about that scene and how it was like framed and set up, and like those dinosaurs were just right next to them and they didn't see them until the camera decides to like show that there's a reveal. It made absolutely zero sense. Like they didn't see them until like it pans and they were like lying down or something, and they stand like nothing about that made sense. And in a similar vein, when the Spinosaurus killed that woman on the beach, it was standing right next to her for like 10 seconds, and she knows that she's being chased, and she just is like fucking around with the crate or whatever it was on the beach. Like, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, you've been chased by a dinosaur to a beach, and then you just forget that the dinosaur is there.
Yeah, and that they're amphibians. Like literally, Jonathan Bailey's character is like, they're amphibians. Keep going, keep going. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna fucking stop. Like, do you not know what amphibians means? Like, I was like, that was the one scene where I was like, guys, keep going. Like, if you're gonna make this scene really tense, like at least try to like run for your life, and then it gets you. Not like, oh, it's stuck up behind
like,
you.
I'm gonna stand on this beach and just get chopped in half. But.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
also think they really overdid John Williams' score. Like it is in this movie a lot. And like the da-da-da, like I remember it plays like the first time I think you see the boyfriend and the girlfriend just like talking to each other on the boat. Like, what are we doing right now? Don't try to conjure any emotions. I don't care about these people.
yeah, we don't care.
The other thing is to go along with what Gigi we were talking about earlier with the like tone. The tone of this movie is decided by the music. The music is so like light and playful the whole fucking time. Like there isn't even an opportunity with the score to like make this heavier, because it's so like it just plays in that same range over and over again. And I feel like there's no space for you to like feel anything else besides kind of like whimsy. Like there's nothing dark about this movie. So I feel like that it's a nice score, but I feel like it was way too like light.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
fair.
Gigi, you're a horror creator. Is this a horror movie? You be the decider. We don't know what we're talking about. Okay.
No. I was like debating putting it like in my horror roundup too, and then I was like, no, this isn't a horror movie. I wouldn't say so.
I will say, if they do, like, they need to go like all out if they do another one. Like the fact that the next Godzilla and Kong movie is called Supernova, like that's what I want for Jurassic World.
I want it to be like a bloodbath. Like I think they need to move away from PG-13. I hate that they're trying to cater to like these like younger audiences.
They're not going to do that,
and they will never do that. But I'm like, this could like legitimately be terrifying, like actually terrifying, and they just refuse to.
They literally had a baby dinosaur show up for no reason and just crawl in some girl's bag.
No, I was like, Dolores, you're so cute. What the fuck are you doing here? Like, I was like, this is so ridiculous. Like, this is just like pandering to these like younger audiences, or to be like, oh, look, we have like a little cutie pie. And I'm like, no, stop. This is, come on.
You want to think about something dark is the fact that the dinosaurs can only survive like in that section, like where they're at. The fact that the little girl's going to take Dolores away and Dolores is just going to like die eventually.
I thought the same thing when she's bringing it away. I was like, okay, this is like a goldfish in a plastic bag, girl. Like you're going to get home dead. Can't survive this climate.
Open up the next movie with like a dead Dolores. I'm all about it. I think that's dark. And then the girl's like, what have I done? I'm down for it.
A villain origin story. I could get behind that.
Oh, the villain. It's just so predictable. It's just, I'm done. I'm tired of talking about this movie. Talk about some good movies. Dan, any final thoughts? Did you feel rebirthed?
No, not even birthed. But
not even birthed.
I just like. I think this franchise is cooked. Like I think it's done. I wish they would stop making them. I think that's not going to happen because of how much money they can make. But I think, like we talked about, if they did like go into like make an actual horror movie, find new. Like, there's so many like horrifying dinosaurs. There's so many other creatures you can like deal with. You can make a real horror movie out of stuff like they were fucking snakes that were like 40 feet long. Like the biggest snakes ever lived at this time. Like put them in there. Like there's so many things you can find that are just so upsetting and just fun. And like this should be. It's so easy to make a good, scary, action-packed movie. Like don't take the teeth away from it. But they just want to make money. So
I think it's crazy that it's like I truly don't understand why we have a lack of dinosaur horror movies. Like I just like don't get why that, like we have 10 billion shark movies, and for the most part they're not really like, they're more thriller based, but it's like I don't understand why we really don't have a lot of dinosaur horror movies. I think that they can be scary. It's just like any other creature where it's like, certain like alien movies are actually terrifying. It's like I don't get why people haven't conjured that up. I feel like it's not that hard.
Plus, it was real. Like it's also like educational. Like people can see things and be like, "Oh, what was that?" and like go look into it. And like it's good. I think that's great.
But maybe that's like why, because like certain things, like I remember when I took like geology in college, and when we were learning about like the Jurassic era, like the Cretaceous era or whatever, they're like, okay, so actually T-Rexes were scavengers. They could only run maybe 10 miles an hour. So it's like, if it was educational, you'd be like, these are kind of boring. These aren't as scary as I thought. The T-Rex doesn't even eat. They don't even eat people. They just eat
digging up bones is fun though.
You can definitely like Hollywoodify the dinosaurs, like, but you can still make them the dinosaurs. Like,
yes.
What was your guys' favorite dinosaur in this movie that you saw?
The D. Hold on. Let me think.
Honestly, probably Dolores, just because she was cute. But like actual scary one.
I like the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus that can swim now.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yes. No, that was really cool. I thought that was pretty spooky. And I like that they were like amphibians. I wish we would have got more of them. Yeah. The bird was fine. I think they were really
Yeah.
trying to. I think they were trying to do like the whole bird cage scene. I really feel like they were trying to just kind of like copy and paste certain things that really worked in all of the movies into this movie, but like do it a little differently. But they just like didn't nail it. Yeah. So I didn't really care about those little ones at the end, the ones that were like that kind of had like wings, but they didn't fly, and they like
The Mutodon. It was the raptor pterodactyl mix.
yeah. I didn't really care about those. Were just okay.
Yep, that pretty much sums up this movie. Just okay or below it. So
Yeah.
Gigi, perfect ending right there. Guys, if this movie scared you, let us know in the comments. Let us know your favorite dinosaur. And if Dan needs to be rebirthed into the real takes. That didn't make any sense, but I was trying to go over something there.
Wait, I didn't get to say my favorite dinosaur.
Oh, what was it? My bad. Oh, I feel rude.
I had to shout him out. It was there was a cameo of my favorite dinosaur, which is the
Oh.
Ankylosaurus, the guy with
That
the
thing?
No,
No,
that's
it-
the Dilophosaurus. That's like the little one that's like that shoots the ink.
Ankylosaurus is he's like a tank with spikes. He has the club tail and he has he's an herbivore.
Dan, that's my favorite too.
Were they
That's
almost
my
ran
favorite
into
too.
him?
They're very
Where it was
cute.
like,
yeah,
where it was
they
like
were
pedestrian going. Yeah. Okay, that is a little cutie. Yes, I actually forgot that they had a little cameo of the Dilophosaurus or whatever. The one I think
Yeah.
that's the one, right? The one that shoots ink. Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. I forgot that
Yeah.
he was in there.
That's my favorite too. And
Yeah.
my second favorite is the one that like runs its head into people. I like that one too.
It was
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like in the Lost World, like when they're trying to like take down all the dinosaurs, like when
Oh.
the military guys first get there, and there's
Yeah.
just that one that's like,
Yes. Yeah.
love that thing. But if you want to hear our further discussion on Jurassic Park and our favorite things about it, we're about to record an episode about that. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on Jurassic World Rebirth. Can't believe we talked about this vanilla of a movie for 51 minutes. But
I know, honestly. We
hope,
don't want to
hope you
say.
enjoyed. Yeah, there are a lot of not very good things. But if you enjoyed it, let us know. But yeah, thanks guys for listening.